Hey there, and welcome to Throw Up Thursday. I'm your host, Dr. JJ Kelly, the punk rock doc.
Welcome to Throw Up Thursday. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. JJ Kelly, the punk rock doc. I'm the CEO and founder of Unorthodox Inc., which I started as a punk alternative to traditional psychotherapy, which I did for 16 years. And what I did was I took the patients in my private practice and I moved them into the advanced DBT students, and now they are the docs because they are so emotionally intelligent. They are ready to teach each other. They're ready to teach kids. They're ready to teach others. And joining us, as per usual, is Olivia, one of our docs. So I will let her in.
Corey, hi Sam, hello, thanks for joining. Olivia will be with us any second here, I think. I said yes to the request, so we'll see. I think my sound, there we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Is it?
Hi, welcome. We've got a few. Your internet. Olivia. Hey, Erica, welcome. Hi. I had a feeling, Olivia, that something wasn't going to be great. Maybe you could go and come back. I'm not really sure. Let me see. Not really sure how this is going to go here. Let's call her, shall we? Let's see. Oh, there. Hi. I'm letting you back in again. Okay. Let's see if it works. All right. Try again. Hello. And what we do at Throw Up Thursday is you are allowed to ask questions in the comments, and then there's like a question box as well. That's harder to read for me because what is that? That's harder to read because we only get a few lines of text in that. So go ahead and go live in a room. Boy, I sure don't know what the hell is going on here. So put your questions in the comments and I will answer them. Olivia has prepared questions for every week, so we will do those as well. As if we can ever get her on here, say yes. I did say yes. I already said yes. Twice now. This isn't me, I promise you. Try it again. Send another request, my dear. Yeah, oi. I agree. So, what can I talk about? Okay, so I think that in the beginning of COVID, people were pretty freaked out. And as it evolved, the fear turned to kind of like, irritation and like yelling at neighbors, yelling at people on the street. I don't know what it's like in your part of the country, but here they have blocked off whole streets, and which is great. Then people can walk, they can walk with their kids, they can, get them some exercise after dinner or before bed or whatever people do. It's a little loud on the deck, but I get it. It's cool. So then when you drive through these streets, which aren't like legally, it's not like you can't drive through them. It's that, preference. Don't. If you can find another route, do it. Yeah. But for those of us who like live on the street, I am driving through. People are giving me side eye. I'm like, I live here. What do you want me to do? The entitlement just goes on and on and on. So I've seen that ratchet up. We've talked about it a few times on the Throw Up Thursdays too, that people are, short fusey, very short fusey. I think at this point, there's another surge of fear as we're talking about things opening up again. fear about the opening up, but also that mixed with the fatigue that we all kind of have just from how long this has been going on. Oh my God, we don't want it. We don't want it here anymore. But at the same time, we've grown used to it. So damn, what do we do now? We go back to normal? What is normal? Do we really want to go back to it? I don't know to any of that. So Olivia, what is happening? Hey, Allie. Yeah. And Allie, your thing came to mind, and I'm not going to go into all your private information, but this idea that like, it's been hard, you know, it's a little bit of a slog, a little bit of a struggle, and we can go, so can you send a request, Olivia? Hello. Hi.
I don't know what's happening.
You can't get in, huh?
So I sent the request, I got in, then turned off, and then it was like, oh, can't resend the request anymore. So I don't know.
So I'd have to start it over?
I think so, yeah.
Son of a bitch! Okay.
Do it over the phone.
Okay, well, let's do this one over the phone just because we're this far in already. People are already on. I don't want to screw them over.
I know, we have a good turnout. So hello, everyone. I'm wearing nice red lipstick. I'm sorry you won't get to see.
It is a real shame you don't get to see Olivia's lipstick and eye makeup, I would argue.
Yes, I know I think that's the main draw of Throw Thursday every week, is to see how well I do my eyeliner.
Yeah, for me. Anyway, yeah. So just a reminder for folks that are on here, Olivia is one of the docs, one of the advanced DBT students, and she's the shit. And if you've seen her on this before, you know, maybe catch us next week and you'll see her instead of just hear her. She is part of the peer coaching. And we're gonna do emotions camps for young folks like the docs like Olivia and like Erica and like Allie that are on here. They really have grown their emotional intelligence skills. Grace, there's Grace. Yes, Olivia is the shit. I agree. Yeah, that's from Grace. They're a big fan. So anywho, I was finishing up about fatigue during COVID. Self-care, of course, we've talked about that as well. It's just, why don't you make some deliberate choices about who you want to be, how you want to live? Just slow it down and make some mindful choices about what you've learned during this pandemic, the pain. What did the pain teach you? Hey, Astrid. Yeah. And let's move into I don't know, you know? It's unknown. We don't know. That's what's scary to us. And that was always the case, by the way. We never knew what the fuck was going on. We just convinced ourselves that we did. So let's not do that. Let's learn from COVID that nobody has any emotional intelligence skills and go get some. I'm preaching to the choir because people out here are trying to learn. But this is what I'm saying.
And if you want to go get some, go to drjjkelly.com and set up your free consultation.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Excellent. Okay, so let's jump right in. Olivia, do you have pre-prepared questions for us for Throw Up Thursday?
I do, in fact, have pre-prepared questions.
Wow, way to be on it.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one from me for our first one.
Lovely.
Okay, so I've noticed that when I'm watching the kids that I take care of, I set up a lot of rules because I don't want them to be hurt. But I'm wondering how to differentiate between being like careful and being controlling in order to like alleviate my anxiety.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. Did everybody hear this question? Can you hear Olivia, by the way, when she's talking? What is the line when you're taking care of a kid or, you know, your own kid or yourself for that matter? What is the line between trying to keep them safe and never letting them have any freedom? I think, thanks. I am not your mom, Corey, damn it. Okay. So,
I love the responses to the comments. No fun.
You can't see the comments right now?
No, because if different audio things.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, no. Corey, by the way, you said I'm your new God, not your mom. So pick a lane. How about I'm in the God lane? That would be my choice. But I think this is such a great question. And as you know, Olivia, before I started pro shrinking, I was a nanny a lot in different parts in the world. I love kids. I think they're awesome. I just want them to go back to their parents at the end. So, so I have my suspicions of how to answer that question because I know you, Olivia, but I think for the purposes of everybody, yeah, right. Power has gone to my, I'm a punishing God. I think that a live example would help this teaching point.
Okay. So, all right. Little Thomas, who's the kid that I take care of, he is going through like a growth spurt right now. So he has a lot of strength that he's not aware of. And he recently broke a window in the house.
How old is he again?
He's like 6.
I thought he was like 6. He broke it with like his hand or a ball?
With a ball.
Okay, yeah.
And so he's been really into balls lately. So he's throwing all these balls up and he's throwing them in the air, not great at aiming. And so I told him that he's not allowed to throw balls like upwards so that he doesn't break anything.
Well, that's an outside activity.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no balls in the house.
Yes. Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. And then another working example, I guess, would be, I'm trying to think of one because there's like so many little things that are like that.
Well, like, are you not going to let him go? You know that slide at the park up by the Berkeley Rose Garden?
Oh, that cement slide?
Yeah. It's a cement slide where you like have a piece of cardboard and you slide down. And it's really like, it's really tall and long, but it's not very steep. Although some of those kids pick up some speed on that. You know, I think that is an example. Like, do you not let him do it? Because what? Most likely he's going to get some sort of like burn from the rubbing on the concrete with his hands or something. Yeah. So is that not worth letting him go? Hell no. Yeah.
I guess a good working example would be they like to play obstacle course where they like do the floor is lava and jump on all the furniture.
Yeah.
And it makes me really nervous when I see them doing it.
They can't do that with the babysitter there. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside. Okay, do what you want to do. You asked me for my opinion, so I am giving it to you. Ain't no way in hell I'm letting the 3 lads, 2, 4, and 6 in Ireland that I was nannying for jumping on furniture and shit. No. They're going to crack their head on an end table or some shit. Hell no. And I'm pretty loose.
Okay.
Like, I let them get bumps and bruises at the park. Yeah. On the swings or whatever. They're hitting each other with a bat outside. You know, like, hell no. Get him outside. He's got a growth spurt, so he's got a surge of energy. He needs to be outside running. Run his ass.
Trick where I was like, let's run laps, I'll time you and I'll tell you how fast.
Yes, physical challenges.
Yeah.
Yes. Ready, set, physical challenge right now. 10 push-ups. Let's see how fast you can do them. Burpees, jump. I mean, you turn something in. They're going to win the game no matter what. It's exciting. Dude needs some exercise, as do we all, people. Yeah. This is a question about the kid that Olivia's taking care of, but we all know how this feels. When you get like, you just want to squish a person while they're talking, like smash their face. Well, maybe you need to take a walk. Maybe you need to even do some burpees or some weight training shit, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, energy release. Remember, it's still spring. Energy release, people. Yeah. So, yeah, do it with them sometimes, too, Olivia. You know, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to win. Yeah. Yeah. Now, kids, this is how we put someone to sleep. Yeah, choke them out. Jiu-jitsu style. And they're sleeping. Yes. Love it. The MMA fighter says, choke out the kid. Dr. J.J. Kelly does not advocate for choking out children. Okay, next question.
Cool. Or wait, should we answer the other question now?
Oh, what's the other question?
How to differentiate between being careful and being controlling to alleviate anxiety?
I think you gotta check your own fear. I think that probably varies based on what people's values are.
Yeah.
However, what I see with just parents in general is fear makes them constrict everything. And kids do need to fall down. They need to, Jesus Christ. I mean, they knew, even though my parents did work at the hospital, I mean, they did know us by name in the ER. Now, that was a long time ago. Things were different. The Kelly kids are here again. Who did what to whom? You know, like that isn't how people operate. And you don't really, you know, with COVID, you don't really want to spend time in the ER either. But your fear could lead to you not letting the kid have experiences.
Yeah.
And you are fearful. Oh, here's Megan. You got to ask Megan this question, new mom. Hey, are you shutting everything down because you don't want the kid to get hurt or die or not eat or, you know, like it's a great question for parents, although I actually think they probably answer it a little differently unless they have more than 2 kids. Mm-hmm. By the second, third one, they're like, whatever, play with fire. I mean, just kidding, but you know, like, they loosen up. Yeah.
You'll learn that.
Olivia, you're so great with kids and you run a little high anxiety wise. My guess is you're probably a tiny bit constricting while overthinking, am I being constricting? You know? And what is this? You're so permissive too, which is weird. You're letting him do all this crazy shit in the house. Aren't you worried that the parents are going to come home and everything's broken? I mean, they're going to bust up property. They got to go outside.
Yeah.
Outside for most shit. So, and I don't, you know, I think they're, well, whatever with that. Next question.
Okay. Cool. This one is from Grace.
Great.
So they said, I notice when I'm out of school, I'm way more prone to acting out. I think at least in part because the lack of structure outside of school.
Yeah.
I'm also clocking some worry thoughts that because I've spun out on breaks in the past, that I'm inevitably going to do that this summer, which I know is a choice point and not fate. How do I create structure for myself and also give myself the space to enjoy the break and rest?
Oh, I mean, do you hear the answer in their answer or in their question?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, we have to take a look at our attachment to the past and how it's fucking all over our present. People, just because you used to do that does not mean you're destined to do it again in the present. Grace does say that, you know, like I know that it's a choice point and I'm, you know, it's not an inevitable. So I do appreciate that and want to validate that. I think when you want, you know, what do you do on a vacation? You still have structure on a vacation. It's just looser. It's just different. It's just more fun oriented. Now, you don't want to like schedule the shit out of your summer. You want a little downtime. And I think that doing nothing is very, very underrated. So even if you have to schedule doing nothing time, sit in the sun and just be in virtual silence. So schedule things, you know, make a structure, just have it be a little more loose. Structure is to keep us, you know, acting according to our values, stabilized, grounded in our wise mind. And you want to be flexible, particularly in the fun time of break. So you got it on the calendar so that you're not just sitting around watching Netflix and eating all day. You got something planned. And hey, maybe somebody calls you up and you're like, oh yeah, I'd rather do that. Then go do that. You know, but again, watch your own anxiety. You don't want to just be reactive to your anxiety. You're getting ahead of it. And Grace, they're getting ahead of it. Like, here's break coming up. I don't want to spin out. So I want to build a structure. Great, build one. Just don't have it be so tight. And don't over rely on it either. There can be a rigidity around one's schedule and a clinging to structure as well. And that doesn't help either. So balance, grasshopper. You know what I'm saying? Like, be in the rational mind, the reasonable mind, and emotion mind. That's where wise mind lives. You assess your values. What do I want to do? Not what should I do? What do I have to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do today? What do I want to do this week? What do I want to do with my 3-month break? Just casually write some stuff down and pay attention to your body. What brings you joy to write it down? Do that. All right. Do you want to add anything, Olivia? Short, because your face isn't on here.
Yeah, I think something that I have been thinking about, and that this question reminds me of like the stories that we've told ourselves about the past.
Yeah.
And of thinking about like the work of like, what if the things that we believe, we just don't believe them? Like, what if all those thoughts aren't true?
Yes.
And I think it's really interesting to go, okay, well, what if I just don't believe that I spin out in the summer? Like, what if I just chose to think of that as something, as a story, but that is not reality?
Right. Nice.
And challenging those things.
Yep.
And I think this is a really good opportunity to be like, Grace is who Grace is right now. Grace is fucking kick ass. And like, Grace can handle not having a schedule.
Yes. And must.
Yeah.
Because that to rely on that is it can kill creativity. So yes, I think that is really well said. And for those who don't know, I believe Olivia is referring to Byron Katie's work, thework.com, and the turnarounds. Those are really fun to do. They're painful as fuck at times. And if you don't take yourself too seriously and you try to look for what it's teaching you in the pain, you're in a way better place doing that kind of stuff. But I love that stuff, the work. I think it's really challenging and cool. It's cool to reframe what the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves and our reality. Nice. Yeah. All right, let's do one more.
Okay. This one might be pretty short.
Great. I'm starving.
My friend sent this to me. So she said, I live with my mom, and she makes a lot of comments about the outfits I wear. What are some things I can do to get her to stop?
Do you know this friend well enough to know what the comments are?
Yeah, they're just like, she's a very, her mom is very controlling.
Okay.
And I think my friend has like an interesting sense of style that I love, but this mother is pretty old school.
I mean, is it like, well, what are the comments that the mom says? Do you know any of them?
I think one time she said that it's like, that's not flattering. One time she said that she looked homeless.
Oh boy. That's a burn on several folks right there.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, yeah. So it's not about it. Is this friend female identified?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it about like too much flesh?
I think it might be about not enough.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Like not flattering body shapes or whatever.
Wow, that's rough. Okay.
Like you said things before, like, oh, you look so casual today.
Thank you.
Like, yeah.
Thanks very much. Being comfortable is a way of life, a lifestyle choice. I'm so much happier. Yeah. Look, I'm dressing casually. So I kind of assume that your friend has straight up asked her mom to knock it off.
Yeah.
And the mom probably has said, sure, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, she's probably been more defensive than that, but it probably ended with a commitment not to do it and then a doing it again.
Yeah.
That's usually how this shit goes. So if we can't change people, you could teach your friend the DEAR, the interpersonal effectiveness skills, on how to ask for things and how to say no. So you can instruct her on how to deliver that, and that there might be a shot there. I would do that anyway, just so you have the foundation laid for the next 50,000 times you ask your mom to knock it off. But ultimately, and ultimately we can't change people. And I don't know what the mom's gig is, but I mean, has any one of us not had some of that go on with our parents at some point in our lives, if not all the time? I mean, I think it sucks, and your friend can choose to care less, which I think is the way to go, because chances are if mom hasn't stopped, she ain't gonna.
Yeah.
So your options are humor shaming. I'm a big fan of that. Sick burn with mom, just say some quick comeback, like, my natural one of being like, oh, thank you very much. I would be saying thank you very much to all of them as a humor shaming move. But, you can dabble with your own words, whatever. You can keep asking in earnest for her to please stop. It hurts my feelings when you judge what I'm wearing. Please stop. Or it can just be funny. Maybe we can bingo card this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Where that one would be extra funny if, like, you had the specifics of the kind of criticism the mom actually says. Like one of the squares is like, mom comments on casual, mom comments on unflattering, and actually uses words that mom uses. And you know what? We haven't talked about this part, but what about showing mom that bingo card at the end? With something like this, yes. We have never really talked about this, but you know what? I did it once at Thanksgiving, the friend Thanksgiving that we always had. I did a bingo card once, and I let all the female identified people at Thanksgiving, I gave them all one, and we all played together. It was awesome.
But did you show it to the people who were they?
Well, they caught on because they're not dumb. We're all snickering and and then running to our cards when certain shit is said. So they did catch on, and it's funny because it was a mixed bag. There are a couple like fragile ones that got sort of pissy or defensive about it, and there was one in particular who was like, "Oh my god, this is super funny." Yeah, I do say that. Like a little more ego strength, a little less fragility, and people can see the humor in it. But for this kind, it's a little bit instructional. Like maybe mom could see just how predictable, kind of cutting the words are, and like that it happens enough times that the daughter made a friggin' bingo card of the shit.
Yeah.
There is an argument to be made for that. Now, I don't want weaponizing of truth necessarily. We're not doing it to hurt mom. However, I think it could be useful, particularly when people just like don't fucking listen to your requests over and over again. They don't listen to your request for them to stop saying the thing.
Yeah.
They think you're being a pain in the ass or oversensitive or fill in the fucking sexist, racist, blank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you're bullying them by setting boundaries. It's such a crock of shit of gaslighting bullshit. But with this kind of thing, go away. I have like an on-camera tiny moth like right on my face.
Just scream, go away at your mom.
I'm swatting and saying, I mean, what? I tried to ignore it and be a grown-up. It just didn't last. So So if you could do it in a shut up. So if you could do it in a tender, like matter-of-fact kind of way and like curb your own urge to rub her face in it, then maybe showing her the card. You said it sounded scary, huh?
To show someone, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I can see that. And that, you know, the reason we haven't talked about it before is because it's not really for that.
Yeah.
However, it could be. You just have to do it you have to do it mindfully. You have to do it from a place of kindness, ultimately.
Yeah.
And challenging people, I believe, still can be an act of kindness. It's just the weaponizing truth, like rubbing somebody's nose in it, that, no, not into that. Boy, I sure can validate that urge, but please don't do that, because your soul will pay a price. That's you're going to feel shame for that, even if it feels like fucking exciting and exhilarating in the moment and you're all righteous. There's going to be a come down from that. So, well, those are great. Thank you, Olivia.
You're welcome.
So,
figure out this fucking thing. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do a test one right after this again.
Okay, that sounds good.
But thank you all for joining us. Throw Up Thursday, every Thursday, 4 p.m. PST. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all the docs. Can't wait to see you June 1st, our group call. If anybody wants a consultation, they're free right now. drjjkelly.com.
That's drjelly.
Dr. Jelly, Kinky Jelly. That's what my aunties on the Kelly side used to call me. Okay, love you all. For Kinky Jelly, signing off.
Get in touch with me, Dr. JJ Kelly, the punk rock doc, at drjjkelly.com.